Good to see you. Just
Good to
organizing
see
some
you, Mike.
things on the screen here. Yes, today we're starting out with little blue and yellow for Ukraine.
Okay, here.
Tough times over there, so say a little prayer. We are live on LinkTank, and simple promise: walk away with one idea you can put to use, and there you go. So today, Don, what do we want to share with everybody?
Well, continuing along the theme that we've been developing over the last 2 months, really looking at actuating activity, and putting thought and into action. And with that said, is really how do you represent yourself and your LinkedIn talent, that can be a gift to somebody who really is struggling or needs it. And it's really just making a few minor adjustments that we can talk about today based on, being more visible, not being your best kept secret. So many people want to get out there, but don't go out there. It's like, how do you wish that, and this is really to show you that me and Mike are nothing special. What we learned, everybody's capable of learning, and it's the same platform. We can't control LinkedIn in any way. So it's really, how do you control yourself? How do you apply the knowledge you have? And once you get really good at it, you're gifting people everywhere when you bring it up. Mike has great stories into saying, what's your LinkedIn strategy, right? There's been, a thought that says, don't try to sell somebody until they've already demonstrated a need for what you have to sell, right? So instead of saying, hey, I got LinkedIn for you, and you may, it's really just giving people a chance to say, where are you, right? And if someone says, I'm working hard at it, I'm not getting ahead, blah, 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 that's an easy way to say, let me just share something with you. And, it's the opening of the door that when people see the light, you don't have to promote it anymore. It promotes itself. It's just getting them over that hump. Mike, I know you're ready to say something.
Yeah, and I think going back to, I always like to break it down because it's not complicated. To just, it's like normal life. If we didn't have the internet right now, and Don and I were able to give you a course where you came to see us live, and it was about networking, we'd basically be telling you the same thing. You go to a event, and then you see someone that you might add value, they might add value, potentially could be business. You're not going to walk over and say, hey, here's what I got for you. There's going to be some relatability that goes on, and you're going to share experiences and find commonality. And then it becomes obvious if there's a connection and whether or not you can help each other, or introductions can happen. I mean, that's basic networking. And what Don was saying is, it's a question of just putting yourself out there. It's the most painless networking on LinkedIn because it doesn't matter. There's millions and millions and millions. Like, I was just on a call today with one of our clients, and I'll just maybe it'll be good to show this because it just goes to show you. Let me just quickly show my screen. It just goes to show you that, like, there's such an abundance that like, it's just a matter of putting yourself out there, which is all that really matters. So let me share my screen. So you can see this is the LinkedIn, and we were talking about how the program works and the content and the difference between inbound and outbound. And then he shared, I asked him about ideal customers, and we were talking about labor attorneys. I don't know anything about labor attorney. So I said, well, let's put it in there. Let's see, what happens. And then you just put it in, and then you hit people. And then there's 180,000 people that have labor attorney in their either a title or in their buyout. And I, he said to me, he's like, wow, because he helps labor attorneys as a consultant work with their companies, because companies, they go to the labor attorneys because they got a problem, right? It's maybe the unions try to come in, or they got a lot of people leaving, and so they go to the attorneys to like get the answers to the problem, but they don't want the attorneys in the company speaking to people, right? That's obvious. Attorneys doing that. So his organization has been doing it for I don't know. He's one of the leaders for 15 years. He works with the attorneys and said, "Look, you hire me, I'll go in and I'll figure out what's going on, what's broken. I can work in between the employees and management. We've got programs and training, so it's a sweet niche." And so when you look at this, you say, "Okay, there's 780,000." So when he starts to, get involved with this group, does he care if he goes Erin, Bree, Juliet, Sahara, George, and Cassidy, and he goes over 6 in any kind of communication? What does it matter, right? If
Yeah,
he goes,
it's endless. I mean, so the
he goes,
opportunity is vast.
he can go over 25. Doesn't matter. It's a mindset. It's a mindset that is I think a lot different than what we're normally used to as from a networking standpoint, even from a sales perspective, right? When I was in the financial markets, when we used to dial 300 phone calls a day to get, 70 connections and 12 or so, initial conversations, get hung up a lot. And if we got 3 good leads a day, that was the gold mine. If you opened up 10 new accounts a month, then you were going to be very successful as a stockbroker. If I found a lead that said yes and it was worth millions and it was a good lead, I literally wouldn't let that guy or gal go forever. I was like a tiger that was attached, to the ankle. So much so that there was a guy, I gotta remember his name. I use his story a lot, but he was very wealthy and he owned a telecommunications company in Jersey, and I just couldn't get him. Every once in a while, I got him on the phone. We talked. So I knew that he was the first person in the office at his big operation. So I drove out there at 6 a.m. and I sat on the stoop, Don. We didn't. It was before the internet, so it was only telephone. He didn't know what I looked like. And so, sure enough, he parked his car, and I knew what he looked like. I think because I looked him up in the 10K or on his website, whatever it was. And he's like, "Can I help you?" And I said, "It's Mike Weiss." He's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And I was like, "Well, that telephone tag stuff doesn't work for me." And I figured if I got here early like you, we could spend a few minutes in your office. And I got in. It became an account, a very good account, and a good friend for many years. And that mindset, well, yeah, there's a lot of good lessons about it, but like the mindset, you don't need to latch on anymore because, like we just shared, that was just one quick search. There's literally millions and millions of avenues for this new client. So you just make make a hello, add some value. If they take, they take. If they don't, they don't. They might take and not even do anything else.
Yeah, but you learn from every initiative. And what you find out, if you do find out in time, is what you want and what you have to offer is the only thing you need to promote, right? To take people somewhere that you're not there and to try and bring them back and all around, to Mike's point, you have to measure the amount of opportunity and how many people there are with how you communicate, right? You don't got to sell everybody. You don't got to tell everybody everything. You just got to tell people what's important to you in relationship to them, right? You do it for them first, so then maybe you can do it with them later. You know what I mean? And that's
So what does that look like, Don? In practical terms, let's break that down. What does that look like?
well, you create an opportunity already exists or you communicate that opportunity. Like in my profile, it's not who I am, it's pretty much what I do and what I do for you, not only what I do for me, right? And really,
Yes.
to take, we had a headline that I created, I mean, that we created, I'm using on my profile, which is, do you want to be a LinkedIn thought leader and make money? Right? That's the headline. And I even put it in all caps, right? And I can actually share that so that we
Yeah, definitely share it. And while you're pulling that up, that was the other thing you just reminded me that that's the biggest mistake I see with everyone that I'm on with is on the first two or three sentences on LinkedIn profile. It's all about them. It's like all about me. He was blown away because he's like, oh my God. He's like, I can't believe it. Because he's been on TV, he's been on Forbes National Best. So he's a speaker. So he had all that stuff.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, now just imagine people come back to your profile and how are they going to actually figure out what you do for them?
Yeah,
Before we repeat,
you can see it in my headline if it's visible.
oh, let me get it, share it up there. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
Okay, so just like I said, all want to be a LinkedIn thought leader and make money. And then here's how, right? So you don't just ask a question and leave them hanging. Engage in one of my LinkTank mastermind speaking, watch LinkTank live for proven tips and strategy. And then down here is all the opportunities, right? So, if we go back and, and that's really all there is, right? If that doesn't get someone who really wants to be an achiever, who really wants to see their efforts pay off. I mean, everybody that we're talking to on LinkedIn is on LinkedIn, is doing something there. So it's not a matter of getting them into LinkedIn. It's getting them to be successful on LinkedIn, make their time more valuable, and do it in a collaborative manner. And by having, and you're right, because I'm old school, I remember every time you had to do something, you had to get physical. You had to get on a plane, you had to get in a car, you had to drive to an office. I mean, you were always physically doing stuff and you were going places. Now you have the opportunity for everything to come to you with a pull marketing strategy where you just put out the shingle every day and say, here's what we got in stock. Here's what's the most important thing for you and for LinkedIn is to learn how to win, right? It's not
Yeah,
learn about us. You know what I
yeah,
learned? Someone said the main thing is be interested, not interesting, right? So when you show an interest in people, when you give value to people, it's a natural attraction. What were you saying, Mike?
yeah. And like every industry, the headline should be, "I help this group of people do this so that they get this." Right. So if you're in, maybe you're helping attorneys find um, better opportunities because they all get junior partner, they get stuck, and if they work out how much they're making an hour, it's like $16 an hour and they're getting used unless they get a partner. So um, you know um, I help attorneys that are on the edge of partnership realize that there's bigger opportunities where they could be more satisfied and make more money. So if you're doing your thing on LinkedIn and you are focusing on that level of attorneys, and then go like, who the hell is this person? And it says, I help attorneys that are almost senior partners realize, how little they're making and how to find new opportunities where they can be happier and make more money. So what's going to happen is what you just said. If 100 see it, if 20 are like, wow, that's cool. Well, they know what they're saying. Wow, that's cool too. right? So you know that they're like they're feeling the fact that they're working so many hours, and if they don't get partner, they can look back and say, oh my god, now I have to switch firms and do it all over again. One example, there's a million example. If you own a SaaS platform, a technology company. I mean, you're there to do something. Like what you've done is either you create something brand spanking new that helps the world do something better and faster, or you took something that was broken and now there's a new way of doing. So it's I help this category of people do this with this so that they get this.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what are you going to say? Gartner's top 100 software, third company I'm building, third marriage. No, you're not gonna say that. But who cares about that? No one cares about that.
Well, and that's why, it's all about what's in it for me, for the other person. And, there was a reason you chose to do what you do every day. Whatever that reason for being is, that's what you should express in your message out there. But here's what's also important. You can't say it one time and forget about it. It takes a lot of repetition to get in front of people to get top of mind awareness, right? And if you
Yeah,
say something every day, and that's why posting consistently, that's why doing anything consistently lends itself to reliability, to relevance, and to attraction. And too many people don't do it right. And then when they do it, they don't do it often enough, and they don't have a strategy or plan. And I was just like them. So it's not like, everybody goes through it. How long do they want to stay in that no man's land, right? Where they're doing a lot of work, getting some action, but no resolution, no sales. What are you putting in the till every day? You got to ask yourself that if you're commercially motivated, right? If you're
yeah,
socially
yeah,
motivated and fun motivated and want to learn stuff motivated, this program and us aren't for you, right? We can help you in that regard, but we can't make you a commercial success if your motivation isn't there to begin with. But the key is whatever you want, you can get by putting it out there. I mean, it's like a free ad, right? Classified ads. In the old days, the paper was 7 different sections of classified, whether it was cars, whether it was hiring. Now, LinkedIn just says, give us a message. We'll deliver it for free to anybody. We'll
yeah,
even tell you who it should be. Tell us who you like, who you align with. We'll give you that too. And all you do is type a little stuff and boom. And you could even create templates, right? Where you're not being an author every new time. And that's good. So,
yeah. People don't even know what classified ads are today.
yeah, you used to have to get a crane to pick up a paper on a Sunday. It was so heavy with classified. But that's
Yeah,
the change, and that's the benefit now that people have and could take full advantage of if they just understood the ins and outs and the simple process of doing it right. There's a saying: if you don't got time to do it right, you got time to do it over again, right? And nobody wants to do anything over.
oh my god, I love that one. If you don't have time to do it right, you have time to do it over again. That goes down as one of the classics. Here's one of the classics, Don.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we keep coming up with them, and when we say it, it's the first time we hear it too. So this is unplanned, unprogrammed. This is fresh, and it's pertinent, right? And you can come away with a couple of these sayings, a couple ideas, and all it has to do is make sense to you. When maybe it's been a little too confusing, or it's like, hey, I didn't see it that way. Well, now you see it, you can never unsee it, right? It's like unringing a bell. Once it's there, it ain't going anywhere. So,
Yeah.
I think that's what our goal is. We're going to be introducing our membership to LinkTank, which is going to take this to another level. And in the meantime, I'm always open, just like Mike, to reach out, questions, share this with anybody. We're going to be really taking this to a really, really cool level. Love to have you with us. Love to have you get information relative to join. So it's going to be a fun time and a fun place.
Yes, and and just what we spoke about today. Today was, I guess more on the philosophical side. But when you understand from from a high level of what we shared, the next thing to do is to get in the game, like you and I speak about. Everyone's in, the drinking beers out in the parking lot, getting in the game on the field. The good thing about LinkTank, the community that we're going to be launching, is that the fun part is that you get to play within the community. So if
Mm-hmm.
maybe you are a little nervous and you're not outgoing and you're afraid of being judged, so maybe you don't you agree with what we're saying, but you're like, I'm not going to do it. I'm just a little nervous. Then for a week or two, you can play in Link Tank in our community. You can play back and forth with us because every week we're going to be live coaching everyone. You can, part of the community, we have a portal where everyone's going to have a directory, and there's friendships that are made right now with the core clients we have. There's business being done and friendships being made. The portal's amazing. It's active. We're going to have the same thing for Link Tank. So you'll find an accountability buddy, and you'll be like, okay, let me just practice, some of these outbound and come up with 3 or 4, and then bring it up to the group and polish it. And then you got 3 or 4 that you can use. So
Mm-hmm.
this ability to practice and get repetition and get coaching and get, out of the, it's mental. It's whatever the limiting beliefs are that are holding you back about being that outward facing, engaging person. It's just all up here. And
Mm-hmm.
if and are told, all right, do these steps, these steps work, then okay, you're better off than just being all up here and not knowing what to do. Then if you're told, do these steps, and it's still a mental game, and by the way, let's practice a little bit before you get out there on the field. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. And then you do these steps. All right, your practice is great. Now take that step. I can do that. And you're not going to be great the first time either. So it's all about optimization. Even once you get on the field, maybe you picked the wrong cleats or whatever it might be. So we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be an awesome, great group of people. We're going to win and grow together. So we're releasing this imminently. The one thing Don and I can share is it's going to be for the first movers, one of the best deals in the history of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So because we want it to be affordable to everybody, so everybody wins. So stay tuned, message us, and over and out. I guess we're going to see everyone on Friday, Don.
Yeah, Friday and Tuesdays, 2 p.m. And you can look at our profiles, look at all our posts. We also post all of our past uh, link tanks. So if you want to go back in our posts, you could see all those. And yeah, we're going to have it together. And by Friday, should have a lot more details. So over and out. Thank you for all coming and listening, and share it with others. And hopefully you'll get involved with us and do really well for yourself. So
Have an
have a great
amazing,
day.
have an amazing day and week, everybody. Thank you very much.